Laffing Matterz was sort of a second generation creation from the Crystal Palace in Aspen, Colorado. I met my husband there, and we lived and worked there he was there 15 years, I was there 11, but we wanted to have a family. We wanted to live a quote unquote normal life in an area where we could afford to buy a house and have a family. And we found an investor that moved us to Fort Lauderdale. And it was the best possible place we could be, smack between Miami and Palm Beach, a really diverse metropolitan area with a large tourism base as well, to help supplement the days. We found the most amazing talent pool here, and we had nine successful years running there. It was pretty wonderful, but things have to come to a close at some point, and that did end. But I'm grateful for all the time, and now I'm really excited to be bringing it to a different platform. But it works perfectly for the times we're in right now with the COVID pandemic.
So I first sort of became obsessed with the idea of musical sketch comedy when I was hired for a company called Laffing Matterz in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This was probably, I don't know, so many years ago. But I ended up staying there for 7 years at Laffing Matterz. The servers were beer entertainers. So we would come out, we would serve, we would serve the entire dinner up until the show starting. And then we would do political and social satire. It is what Funny Bōnz is based off of. But we would do these, sketches and musical numbers that were all spoofing what was happening in today's society. And this was an ongoing gig. So I stayed with Laffing Matterz for over 7 years. And it never got old because the show changed almost every week. Every week there was something new coming in and something going out. There, of course, are things that everybody loved. But that's when sort of the idea of musical sketch comedy sketches and that kind of thing, I became really sort of obsessed with. I've always been a fan of Saturday Night Live growing up. Thankfully, I'm lucky that my parents, let me watch those things growing up as a kid. And so I've always been interested in it and how it all worked. But it wasn't really until Laffing Matterz that I became, that I worked at it and that I studied it, and I sort of feel like I crafted it,
I love the sketch comedy format because I feel like I'm really good at it. I think, so of course I love it. I think I got better at it doing Laffing Matterz because it's live. You can rehearse for a bit, but then you get out there and you have to make it happen in front of the audience. And I really love that audience interaction. And I love switching back and forth from character to character. And I think that's why I really love the sketch comedy platform the most. Like with Laffing Matterz, I would have maybe 8 different characters I'd play in one night. And it was just so much fun to go out, do one number, go backstage. And I'd have this ritual backstage of changing into these different characters. And then I'd put on the earrings, the wig, the outfit, and take on the physicality and become another character. And then that would be 5 minutes and back off stage, get ready for the next character, and put on the new wig and put on the new costume and the new physicality and come out with the new voice and be the other character. And I just loved it. It gave me a real adrenaline rush. And I really felt like that's what I should be doing with my life. And the audience, I love the audience reaction. To get a laugh out of the audience is just, and to get, to see them smiling and happy, it was just the best feeling ever.
So I wanted to be a part of the Laffing Matterz group because there was nothing like it in Southern Florida. There really was no dinner theater that was like this in this format. It's like this Vegas style venue, and political, social satire set to music. It was a combination of everything I love to do. I love making people laugh. I love singing. I love acting. And, even though we had to wait tables, I had many years of waiting tables because you do that as an actor as well. So, but it was, I think, because I knew I was going to be on stage with so many amazing actors and actresses, such talent. I also knew new friendships were going to come out of this. That's another reason I wanted to be a part of it. And just the excitement of being a part of something new, brand new, that hasn't been seen in that area of the state. I was so excited to be a part of it. And I think on top of being on stage with these phenomenal people, I loved the point where the patrons discovered that their server was part of the cast. Their server was one of the performers. And I love the epiphany when they see you on stage after you've just been serving them their dinner and their dessert. And then they see you on stage and you perform, and it's like they have this enormous respect for you, and it reflected in a bigger tip as well at the end of the night, and just the accolades you get for doing everything we did do is, having to go through the stress of being a server, and it was very stressful. And then you have to worry about your lines and the scenes and making your targets and hitting your targets, I should say. And, making sure that you're on spot, remembering your music, your lyrics, your dialogue. It was exciting. So I loved being a part of it.
I think the popularity of Laffing Matterz came from the fact that the customers, the guests, were invested because they had spent over 2 hours with you, with us serving them their dinners, and then at intermission we would come out and bring their desserts and their coffee, and then they would just be so excited and love talking to us about everything that happened in the first act, and that they couldn't wait for the second act. And we would have a lot of repeat guests who would come back over and over. And I think that was part of the success, was that one-on-one connection with the performers, the fact that the performers were also your servers. I think that was part of it, but I also think the material had a lot to do with it too. We had some incredible writers, as does Funny Bōnz right now, some really, really great young up-and-coming writers out in California who are working on the project, who are doing an amazing job with some new material. So I think that, the material combined with just the overall atmosphere in its original incarnation, the venue was just unbelievable. It was built specifically for it. It was tiered. See, that you felt like you were in a Las Vegas showroom, but you were in the heart of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So I think there was many things that lent to the success of Laffing Matterz in South Florida.
I think because of the nature of it having, well, first of all, fantastic producers, fantastic. So, and I've been working in the theater community my entire life, and the Mark and Rita Wells were the very best theatrical people that I've ever worked for, ever. They're the best. They take such good care of you, and they really supported me. So I think Laffing Matterz made it for 9 years and was so successful is because not only of the producers, Mark and Rita Wells, and their passion for their program that they had, but also they were professional, and they treated all of us like professionals, and the pay was really good, and they respected us to make decisions, and they respected our talent, and they respected our choices, especially mine. Like I felt like I was given an opportunity to really create along with them, and they supported that, and they wanted us to be creative along with them. And the nature of sketch comedy live is anything can happen. And that was a lot of fun, being able to spar with the audience and with each other and live in those small moments of whatever scene we were doing. And we did a lot of really cool topical sketches that had a lot to do with what was going on in the world or in the country at that time, whatever year we were doing it. And that's another reason why I think it was successful, is we were able to pick apart and poke fun and have fun about all of the things that we were going through. And the audience and all of us actors all share that.
I think Laffing Matterz was so successful because of the fact that there was nothing like it in Southern Florida, but mainly because of the pure talent on stage. You could have the best sketches, the best music, but if you didn't have the stellar performers to be able to carry it out effectively, it's not going to be successful. And it basically was because of the talent and the direction and, the leadership under Rita and Mark, and the musical direction, how they kept everything topical, and they brought, something new to the stage all the time. So you weren't seeing the same show all the time. So it was also successful because the food was good. That also made it a huge success. I have to give kudos to the executive chef and his team, and how amazing the food was. It was truly fine dining. So I think people really appreciated the fact that the servers were the entertainers. And so they wanted to support that. They wanted to continue to support that. Just to keep that alive, they kept supporting it and kept coming, knowing that they'd be entertained every night. So that's why I think it was successful.